Cornel West, a name synonymous with truth, justice, and the unwavering pursuit of equality. His voice, a powerful blend of intellect and passion, has echoed through academia and the streets, shaking our social and political landscape. As a philosopher, social critic, and public intellectual, West has dedicated his life to dissecting the complexities of race, justice, and democracy in America. Born in 1953, West's intellectual journey began early, earning degrees from Harvard and Princeton. Influenced by giants like W.E.B. Du Bois, James Baldwin, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he ignited a fire for social justice. West's journey extends beyond academia. He is a man of the people, his words resonating powerfully on the streets and in churches. He is a familiar face at protests, urging us to confront uncomfortable truths and fight for a more just world. Through his critiques of systemic racism and advocacy for the oppressed, West has become a beacon of hope and inspiration. Cornel West is a master wordsmith. His writing, like his speeches, blends academic rigor with lyrical prose, infused with raw emotional honesty. He weaves together philosophy, history, sociology, and personal experience to create thought-provoking and deeply moving works. His words are living entities, imbued with the power to inspire, provoke, and ignite change. West's writings have sparked countless conversations and challenged deeply held beliefs, from race matters to democracy. His books are essential reading for understanding race, justice, and the human condition. His words are a call to action, urging us to move beyond current limitations and create a world where equality and justice reign. His writing is challenging and provocative, confronting uncomfortable truths and speaking truth to power. Cornel West remains one of the most important and influential voices of our time. Cornel West doesn't shy away from the darkness. He delves into America's troubled soul, exposing the raw wounds of racism, poverty, and social injustice. He pulls back the curtain on the American dream, revealing systemic inequalities. He speaks truth to power, challenging authority to confront their complicity in oppression. West's message is one of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of love. He believes in humanity's capacity to learn, heal, and build a more just world. Through his words and activism, West challenges us to examine our biases and commit to justice and equality. He reminds us that the fight for a better world is collective, and each of us has a role to play. Cornel West's views on race are deeply rooted in his experiences as a Black man in America. He speaks from the heart, drawing on his lived experiences and community struggles. West argues that race is a social construct designed to categorize and control people. He emphasizes that race is a lived experience, shaping interactions and opportunities. He highlights the historical context of race in America, tracing its roots to slavery. West argues that the legacy of this brutal past continues to manifest in institutionalized racism and economic inequality. Understanding race is about acknowledging past wounds and confronting ongoing racism. West works tirelessly to create a future where race is no longer a barrier to opportunity or equality. West explores the psychological and emotional toll of racism. he draws on Black thinkers and artists, particularly blues musicians. West argues that the Black experience in America is marked by a profound sense of blues. This blues is a form of resistance, acknowledging pain while finding strength to fight for a better tomorrow. He connects this sense of blues to the existential angst all humans face. By confronting racism, we gain a deeper understanding of the human condition. Racism is not just a Black problem, but an American problem. West challenges us to delve into the complexities of race and embrace empathy and understanding. In 1993, Cornel West published Race Matters, a cornerstone of contemporary discussions on race. The book, a searing indictment of America's racial divide, catapulted West onto the national stage. Race Matters tackled pressing racial issues, slavery's legacy, racial inequality, and Black community despair. West's writing resonated with a wide audience, sparking dialogue and debate. The book ignited controversy, challenging the status quo and forcing America to confront its demons. Race Matters offered a roadmap for progress, calling for social justice and institutional restructuring. West urged Americans to embrace love and empathy. Recognizing our shared humanity, he called for collective action to create a more just and equitable society. Cornel West's understanding of race extends beyond the Black-white binary. He acknowledges the experiences of Latinos, Asian Americans, Native Americans, and other marginalized groups. West emphasizes the importance of intersectionality in shaping individual experiences. We cannot dismantle racism without addressing other forms of oppression. His work highlights the struggles of marginalized communities globally. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Solidarity across borders is essential. West encourages a nuanced and inclusive view of social justice. He challenges us to recognize interconnected struggles and work together for dignity and respect. Justice, a longing in the heart of democracy. For Cornel West, justice is a vital life force that gives breath to democracy. A society can't claim to be democratic if it fails to deliver justice to the marginalized. West sees justice as a fundamental human right, transcending political ideologies. Every individual deserves to live in a society that values their humanity and provides equal opportunities. The pursuit of justice demands constant vigilance and courage. True justice requires a radical restructuring of power and dismantling systems of inequality. West's vision of justice is rooted in the Black prophetic tradition, inspired by figures like Martin Luther King Jr. Justice is a continuous journey, a lifelong commitment to creating a more equitable world. The scales of injustice. A system out of balance. Cornel West critiques the American justice system as fundamentally flawed. It maintains order and control at the expense of marginalized communities. Racial disparities plague every stage of the criminal justice system. These disparities result from centuries of systemic racism. Ignoring race perpetuates existing inequalities. A radical transformation is needed. West calls for addressing root causes of crime and prioritizing rehabilitation. His critique extends to broader social and economic structures contributing to injustice. Reimagining Justice, a Vision for Transformation. Cornel West believes in the possibility of transforming the justice system. He advocates for justice rooted in love, compassion, and human dignity. A holistic approach addresses underlying social and economic conditions. Investing in education, healthcare, and housing is essential for a just society. West calls for shifting from retribution to rehabilitation and restoration. Everyone, even those who have committed crimes, deserves a second chance. True justice creates a society where everyone feels safe, valued, and respected. From punishment to healing, restorative justice and reconciliation. Cornel West advocates for restorative justice, prioritizing healing over punishment. Restorative justice addresses racial injustice and creates a more equitable society. It focuses on repairing harm, rebuilding relationships, and fostering accountability. Victims, offenders, and community members work together towards healing. Restorative justice offers a humane and effective way to address crime. It interrupts the school-to-prison pipeline and reduces recidivism rates. Recognizing humanity, it promotes accountability and opportunities for amends. Justice. A collective responsibility. For Cornel West, the pursuit of justice is not the sole responsibility of lawyers, judges, or politicians. It's a collective responsibility, a moral imperative that falls on the shoulders of each and every one of us. He challenges us to move beyond complacency, to recognize that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. West believes that true social change requires a movement of movements, a coming together of people from all walks of life who are committed to fighting for a more just and equitable world. He urges us to embrace a spirit of solidarity, to recognize our shared humanity, and to use our voices and actions to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. He reminds us that the fight for justice is not a sprint, but a marathon. There will be setbacks and disappointments along the way, but we must never give up hope or lose sight of our ultimate goal. West's work is a call to action, an invitation to join the ongoing struggle for a more just and equitable world, brick by brick, heart by heart. He reminds us that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice, but only if we bend it together. Democracy, more than just voting. Cornel West doesn't see democracy as a passive act of casting a ballot every few years. For him, it's a vibrant, dynamic force, a constant process of engagement, dialogue, and collective action. It's about raising voices, challenging power, and holding our leaders accountable. True democracy flourishes in the public square, community centers, classrooms, and around dinner tables. West emphasizes that democracy is a journey, a constant struggle to uphold its ideals. It demands critical engagement and a willingness to challenge injustice. The soul of a nation, nurturing a participatory spirit. For Cornel West, a healthy democracy depends on a vibrant public sphere, a space where diverse voices can be heard, ideas can be debated, and citizens can come together to shape their collective destiny. He laments the erosion of this public sphere, the increasing polarization of our political discourse, and the growing influence of money in politics. He argues that a healthy democracy requires a commitment to dialogue, even, and perhaps especially, when we disagree. It's about engaging with different perspectives, challenging our own assumptions, and seeking common ground. West believes that through respectful dialogue, we can bridge divides, build empathy, and find solutions that work for everyone. West emphasizes the importance of education in nurturing a participatory citizenry. He believes that a well-informed public is essential for a healthy democracy and that education should empower individuals to think critically, engage in civil discourse, and become active participants in shaping their society. He calls for a revitalization of civic education, one that goes beyond rote memorization of facts and dates, and instead instills in young people a deep understanding of their rights and responsibilities as citizens, as well as the skills and knowledge necessary to participate effectively in a democratic society. When democracy fails. The price of apathy and silence. Cornel West doesn't shy away from the potential consequences of a failing democracy. He argues that when citizens become apathetic, when voices are silenced, and when power goes unchecked, societies become vulnerable to tyranny, injustice, and social unrest. He points to historical examples of democracies crumbling under the weight of authoritarianism, often fueled by fear, division, and the suppression of dissent. West warns that these historical lessons are not merely relics of the past, but cautionary tales that hold relevance in our present moment. West argues that a culture of fear and silence can be just as damaging to democracy as overt oppression. When individuals are afraid to speak out against injustice, when dissenting voices are silenced, and when critical thinking is stifled, democracy begins to wither from within. He reminds us that the price of apathy is high. When we fail to engage in the democratic process, when we remain silent in the face of injustice, we not only betray our own values, but we also allow those in power to operate with impunity, eroding the very foundations of a just and equitable society. Reclaiming the promise towards a more perfect union. Despite his sobering critiques, Cornel West remains a staunch believer in the promise of democracy. He argues that while our democracy may be flawed, it still holds the potential for transformative change. He challenges us to reclaim the radical spirit of democracy, to move beyond empty rhetoric and embrace a vision of a society where every voice is heard. West believes that the fight for democracy is not confined to national borders. He sees it as part of a global struggle for human rights and social justice. His work is a call to action, an invitation to join the ongoing struggle. He reminds us that the fight for democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires each of us to step into the arena and raise our voices. In Cornel West's philosophy, race, justice, and democracy are interwoven threads forming the fabric of his thought. You cannot talk about democracy without confronting racial injustice. The struggle for racial justice is inseparable from a truly democratic society. A system built on racial exclusion can never live up to its ideals. The fight for civil rights was about expanding democracy for everyone. Cornel West highlights the real-world consequences when democracy fails to deliver justice and equality. When certain groups are denied their basic rights and voices, it breeds social unrest and despair. Poverty, Mass incarceration and police brutality are evidence of a failing democracy. Economic inequality shows a democracy not living up to its ideals. These are moral failures, reflecting a society desensitized to suffering. A democracy that fails the marginalized is in peril. Disillusionment with democracy creates fertile ground for extremism and division. Social justice as a cornerstone of democracy. For Cornel West, true democracy extends far beyond voting. Real change requires a broader, sustained movement for social justice. It's about transforming laws, policies, hearts, and minds. He calls for a shift towards community compassion and the common good. We must create a society where everyone can reach their full potential. Social justice is an ongoing project towards a more equitable world. It's about challenging oppression and creating a world where everyone feels valued. For West, social justice is democracy's highest calling. A vision for the future: love, justice, and the beloved community. Cornel West envisions a society striving for justice and equity. He calls for a radical commitment to love, transcending divides. Inspired by Dr. King's beloved community, where love and justice reign, poverty, hunger, and homelessness eradicated. West believes this community is possible now with acts of kindness. Each step towards justice, each genuine connection. Our destinies are intertwined. We all play a role. Embrace hope and never give up on a better tomorrow. A legacy of challenging the status quo. Cornel West's contributions to contemporary thought extend far beyond the realm of academia. He is a public intellectual in the truest sense of the word, someone who engages with the pressing issues of our time, challenges conventional wisdom, and uses his platform to amplify the voices of the marginalized. His work is characterized by a rare combination of intellectual rigor, moral clarity, and a deep empathy for the human condition. He seamlessly weaves together philosophy, history, sociology, and personal experience to create a tapestry of thought that is both intellectually stimulating and deeply moving. West's impact can be felt not just in the books he has written or the speeches he has delivered, but in the countless lives he has touched through his teaching, activism, and unwavering commitment to social justice. He has inspired generations of students to think critically, to challenge injustice, and to use their voices to make a difference in the world. He has never shied away from controversy, from speaking truth to power, even when it made him unpopular in certain circles. For West, the pursuit of truth and justice has always been more important than personal gain or accolades. The enduring power of West's prophetic voice. In a world often characterized by cynicism, apathy, and the pursuit of self-interest, Cornel West's voice stands out as a beacon of hope, a clarion call to our collective conscience. He reminds us of the transformative power of love, the enduring importance of justice, and the urgent need to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. His work is a testament to the power of ideas to inspire, to challenge, and to ignite change. West's words have sparked countless conversations, challenged deeply held beliefs, and forced us to confront the uncomfortable realities of our world. His legacy is not just about the past, but about the future. It's about carrying forward the torch of justice, of continuing the fight for a more equitable and compassionate world. West's work is a reminder that the pursuit of a just society is an ongoing struggle, a relay race that each generation is tasked with running. His voice will continue to resonate for years to come, challenging us to live up to our highest ideals, to never lose sight of our shared humanity, and to never ever give up on the dream of a more just and equitable world for all.